Hi guys, I'm going to do a short video for you today how I'm going to do some extension. This is going to be an almond shape. So first what I start is sanitize the client's hands and sanitize my hands. Then push back the cuticles and prep the natural nail. This is going to be a video done in a salon, so you probably will hear some noises in the background like every day in a salon. So I'm pushing back the cuticles and then using a 180 grit I etch the surface of the natural nail. When working on the natural nail, make sure you don't overfile it. You just really remove the shine. I repeat the same step on the other hand. And then once I'm happy with it, I remove any dust which is on the nail. And using the blue scrub, I dehydrate the nail plate. It has to be really nice and squeaky noise.
It does, but really thin.
And then I use the nail prep.
I will do it. Like I found all the curly ones hard. The trouble ones here.
And the other hand as well.
So you feel like punching me because I haven't. No, I love that color.
So once I'm happy with the prep, I'm going to use the Nail Perfect forms to sculpt the extensions.
Yes. Yeah, can I get that glitter? Like a line, or you want like an ombre? Like an ombre. I had a picture, but I forgot. So I could think no problem. And just the same shape.
I pinch my forms and the fingers before the application just to get a better shape. Make sure they are nice and straight, and then we close them tight. Your client's hand needs to be really nice and relaxed, so you're able to put them in properly.
Not very good at seeing that.
Nice and tight, squeeze in with the fingers and then close the form. Pull the sticker, put it on the back, pinch in between the fingers. I like to open them up and slightly close before it goes underneath of the nail. And here I'm going to cut it a little bit so I've got a better fit.
Yeah.
You can do it either with the cuticle nippers or you can do it with the scissors. I'm going to use the scissors. So just cut a very small amount. That's it, and this way the form is going to sit in much nicer, especially on the index fingers because they naturally tend to go down. And now I do the same on the thumb. Lightly pinch the form. Nice and tight. Then you check, are they all nicely fit in. Once you're happy with it, you can prep the nails again, just because during the application of the form we sometimes might touch something.
A bit shorter, or do you want to do it? A bit short.
And of course we want those nails to last, so I dehydrate it again. My next step, which I really love, is to apply the Universal Air Bond and State of the Bonding Gel. It saves me lots of time because I don't have to curate the product. It's going to dry in the air. I'm doing this lady nails first time, so don't know the nail plate as well, and just in case apply the bonder twice, because if that's problematic nails, that might prevent the lifting. And then using the Sculpting Soft Pink Gel, I'm going to build up the extension. I store my brush always in a drawer, so it's away from the direct sunlight, just so it doesn't cure. I leave always a tiny bit of the gel on it, and then always before every single application I just clean it. I pick up a very small amount of the gel, apply it nice and thin on the nail plate, like a nail polish. That will give me a perfect thickness around the cuticle area and on the side walls. Then I pick up a bigger scope and I give a strand to the nails. This is going to be a short almond shape. So once I'm happy with it, if the temperatures allowed me, I can do a few more. If it doesn't allow me, then I would just flash cure it in a lamp. It is all depends of the client's temperature's hand as well. If they're too warm, the gel is going to run much quicker. So you have to kind of see during application how many nails you can do at the one time. I'm going to cure it now. And in the same time when I'm curing the other hand, I've got the time to apply the forms on this hand. You need to make sure the client pulls out the hand out from the lamp, otherwise it will get hot. We always have to slow down the curing process of the gel, otherwise it's a not nice sensation. And once we take out the hand for a few seconds, you can put it back inside again. And it's good to play with the hand like that for a few times before we leave it inside the lamp. Okay, to save the time, I go back to the hand number 1. So I take this hand and apply another gel on another nail. So nice and thin on the nail plate. Then going into the free edge. Picking up a bigger scope to give the strength and build up the apex. And inside the lamp. So again, the client's place with the hand so it doesn't get hot in and out, and I've got a little bit more time to apply more forms.
If you're going to do chocolate, it will make your cuticles and your nails actually dry. That's one of the things. So then it'll make it just means you're going to brush it from the bottom and from the top, and that's it.
And then I take the right hand again. On the nails which I think are pretty white, I can apply a small pinching clamp. Not so. Inside the lamp. And then I apply the universal air bond on the other nails. Again, going to the hand number 1.
For the next time, we'll take your nails. Do you take more than you
Inside. Then second coat of the universal air bond.
Was it full? Yes.
And again I go back to the hand number 1. So you can see this way I'm always doing something. I don't have to wait for a curing process. thumb nice and straight. And now I can go to the hand. Do the same. Pull it out so it doesn't get hot. Okay, change your hands. Inside. So here I've got a wee touch, and what I have to do is I have to wait for the product to be fully cured now. So to make it comfier for the person, I'm removing the forms of the nails which are flash cured already. Inside, fill it in, and then I work on the other hand as well. Just keep it inside now, it should be okay. So if something like that happened to you, that person touched the gel, you have to make sure you fully cure it before you do anything with it. Change your hands. Change. You can see that's when I'm applying a gel, I'm pulling the finger down a little bit, so the gravity does help me. Nice and thin on the nail plate, going down the free edge, and then bigger bulk of the product to build up the structure and the strength to the nail. Change. Now I can try to sort out this nail, so I'm missing quite a lot of product there, which I'm going to add it now. I will have lots of file to sort this out. Change. All-handed. And then I'm going to cure the other hand.
The red one the next time.
Again, when working with the gel, make sure you kind of working down the way. You can see it, I'm doing it slower now for you. And once you're happy with it, cure. So my right hand is pure. I'm going to use the UV cleanser to remove the sticky layer. And then using a finger wrap, I'm going to wrap up my fingers to protect them from overfile. Put my fan on and I start shaping the nails. This is going to be an almond shape. You can see I'm really needing those finger protection because I'm pulling down the client's fingers, just so we don't damage those folds here. So this is just a first reshaping, removing the biggest bulkage of the product. I'm using 150 grit to do that because I'm working with the gel. If I would work with the acrylic, which is slightly harder to file, I could probably use a grit 100. So it's really just to remove the biggest bulk of the product. I've got quite a lot to file on this nail because it was touched. There is an air bubble, so I will see after filing, do I have to fill it up with tiny bit more product or is it going to be gone? The air bubbles making the extensions much weaker, so we have to make sure we don't get any. I mean, obviously this one have created when the product have been touched in the lamp. So I'm going to file it away and add a little bit more fresh product. Just a very small amount. And then cure it. In the meantime, I'm going to file the other hand. Okay, and now you can put it inside. So again, I'm removing the biggest bulkage of the product. It goes really quick because at the free edge I have applied very thin at the places we don't want, but I rather to do it slightly more so I've got something to file than not enough product and then you have to keep adding it on. So after we remove the biggest bulkage of the product, we're going into the detailed shaping. And really important part for me is all the area here around the cuticle and the side walls. All this gel has to be nicely kind of blend into the natural nail. So this way you cannot see the growth line and the nails are going to last really nice and long. I'm shaping the free edge, I'm checking the hairline by lifting the nail up, and I make sure everything is nice and smooth. Then using a buffer, I'm smoothing out the surface of the nail. Again, make sure you protect all the folds so you don't cut the client. I like using also a very thin file to get right into the sides, so I don't get any lifting in there. So that's nail as shape, and I'm going to do it all 10 exactly the same way. So once I'm happy with the shape, I'm cleaning the nails before I can apply the gel polish. I can remove the finger protection now and switch off the fan. So I will do different thing on a different nail. On those nails where I'm going to put a gel polish, I will apply a tiny bit of the gel polish base. And using a sponge, I'm going to rub it in on the surface of the nail. Then this hand goes inside the lamp. Now we can change the hands, and I'm going to apply some nice baby blue color. And a baby pink on the other ones. I like my product to be very close to the cuticle, so sometimes before the application I kind of push them again. Change your hands. And I do the same on the other hand. Maybe just swap the colors. Change. And then apply the second coat. So when I'm applying the color, I tend to push through the cuticle and then brush down. So push to the cuticle. And I do the same on the other hand. And once my nails are pure, I'm going to apply white and black on them. So for the white one, I'm going to use Paint on French, and then for the black one, I'm going to use the Foil Design Gel. They're really great paint on gels, but they've got also a different way of use, like French manicures and other designs. So here I'm going to put the white. Just because we are going to do some nice stone marble effect on it. Very close to the cuticle, and to don't clean my brush, I swap the hands and I do the same on the other hand. Before applications, as I said, I like to push back my cuticle again, just so I can get very close to the cuticle. And then on the ring finger I'm going to apply this black gel. So I clean my brush. Then on top of this black gel we will apply a mirror powder, so they're nice and shiny. And I do the same on the other hand. Very nice and close to the cuticle. And then I apply the top coat on all of them. Change. And those color nails are going to be a matte, so I use the Soak Off Matte top gel on them. And then I do the same on the other hand. On those nails I'm going to apply a normal top coat, because after that we are going to do some design here on the middle finger. And on the black one I have to apply no clean stop seal, because I want to do the mirror effect nail. So it has to be a top coat with no sticky layer. And then we cure it. Do the same on the other hand. So on this one I'm going to put a mirror powder. But first I remove all the sticky layer from the other nails. And then this nail doesn't have any sticky layer because, as I have said, we have used the no clean stop seal. So what I do is I open up my mirror powder, I take a sponge, dip in there, and I'm going to apply it on top of this nail. And then my next step is to rub it in to get a really awesome mirror effect. I do the same on the other hand. So before I apply the top coat, I brush away the excess of the powder and apply the same no clean stop seal. Make sure you don't have any bits and pieces of the powder left, because that will lose the mirror effect. So nice and thin, and I totally love this effect. On the middle finger I'm going to do the design, so I will be using my fine liner brush. I really love this brush because I can use it for the acrylic paints and I can use it also for the gels. So to do this design I'm needing a black acrylic paint, and I'm going to use the nail art paint from the Nail Perfect. And they've got also a great stuff which is a black paint concentrate that allows me to paint for a lot of longer time, and I totally love it. So I'm going to squeeze out a little bit of the paint on a piece of foil and mix everything all together. Then once my paint is ready, I take the hand and I'm going to paint the design on this nail. So I buff it, then remove the dust, and using the prepare mixture from my foil I'm going to do some marble effect. And for very fine lines, make sure you prep your brush. So I'm going to do nice and thin kind of cracks.
So 11, that's quarter to 12.
I want some places to be much lighter in the color.
I have read it. Perfect. Lovely. Thank you.
So I'm using very thin out water with a tiny bit of the paint. Just like a wee shadows, to be honest. And then I take very well pigmented paint and extremely thin lines to define the design. So some of them has to be very, very light, and then the other parts has to be nice and strong. Big press gives me thicker line, thin press gives me a thinner line. So thicker and then extremely thin. Thin, thin, very thick, thin, thin, thin. Thick and then extremely thin. Then once I'm happy with it, I'm going to put the top coat, but I first have to wait for it to dry a little bit, so I do the same on the other hand. Remove the sticky layer, buff it gently. Very nice and watery. And then very, very thin lines. Much more pigmented, not as much water. So I'm constantly preparing my brush to paint really thin lines by rolling it on the piece of foil. And again, once I'm happy with it, I'm going to apply the top coat. And would you like this design, the middle one, to be matte or shiny?
I think I'll go for matte again.
For matte, okay. So we just got a mirror which is shiny and the rest of the nails are matte. So soak of matte top gel. Change your hands. And same on this one. Now I'm just going to cure it, clean the hands, and I show you the final effect. So that's my nails cured. I'm going to clean them, apply some cuticle oil, and then I show you the final results. Especially the mirror dust is so hard to clean, it's everywhere. So let's get some nice white background. take the other hand. So I do the same on the other hand. Then I apply the cuticle oil. And you can see the finished results. Hope you have enjoyed watching this video, and if you did so, you can go into my website to see more designs. It is www.newperfect.net. And also don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel. You can also write me a message with the suggestions of the other smoothies you would like to see. The salon ones are pretty difficult to make just because, as I say, there is lots of noise in the background, but I do believe that you find always something useful in here. Thank you for watching.